right, talking about fighting for our gun rights. I see all those signs. I don't know how many of you listen to the radio. I don't think I have to explain where I stand on the Second Amendment. But there is another guy fighting for our Second Amendment rights in the South Carolina Senate. And, ladies and gentlemen, I don't often, forgive me, say good things about those who are elected to public office. I guess I've gotten old and crotchety, I don't know. The Who did a famous song, Won't Get Fooled Again.
That's right. Yeah.
But I'll tell you, this man is a patriot.
Amen. Amen.
This man is a patriot.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Lee Bright.
I'm a little taken aback when Russ Castle calls you a patriot and you're elected. Man, I'm about to tear up a little bit. I'm being serious. You catch my breath. I just wanted to read y'all a little something that I read to the folks out in Columbia. We had a rally down there. There's been rallies all around this state. And God bless you for being here. It's rainy. And I know the comparison's been made to Valley Forge, but let's go back to Valley Forge. Here's folks that Washington has to tell them, I can't pay you, but I need you to re-enlist. I can't feed you and I can't clothe you, and it's freezing in the snow. And he stood on, and the Battle of Trenton, and the rest is history.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
We're at the Battle of Trenton right now.
Harden up!
So I just want to, I heard a U.S. Senator, a senior U.S. Senator from South Carolina, make a comment that the Second Amendment was made for reasonable purposes, and he was a big fan of the Second Amendment.
Against tyranny.
But he said it wasn't to fight our government.
He's a carpetbagger.
Well, let me just tell you what Noah Webster said, because I kind of like to go back to the founders. I know that you know, modern day folks like to look at Obama and Sotomayor and Kagan and some of the other leftists, and they like to look to them, but we kind of like to look to our founders. We feel like they were smarter.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what Noah Webster said. He said, before a standing army can rule, the people must be disarmed, as they are almost in every kingdom in Europe. The supreme power in America cannot enforce unjust laws by the sword, because the whole body of the people are armed and constitute a force superior to any band of regular troops that can be, on any pretense, raised in the United States.
That's right.
That's why the Japanese didn't hit the West Coast.
That's right.
They were brave enough for Hawaii, but they wasn't coming any further. So let me tell you something. Those guns, that is to defend our Constitution. I believe in the Constitution. I'll die for the Constitution.
Amen.
Patrick Henry said, give me liberty or give me death.
That's right.
We got folks in our country, and it's getting above 50%, that say, give me liberty or give me a WIC card. Give me a liberty or give me a Social Security increase. Give me liberty or pay for my kids' higher education. Now, if we can't say give me liberty or give me death, we will not have liberty.
That's right.
Now, I have been watching, I tell you, I see all these guns. You know, it's amazing. I see all the signs. To think that we have a Second Amendment that can't be infringed. Chuck Wright was speaking over in Spartanburg. We had a thing over in Spartanburg, and he was speaking. And thank God for Chuck Wright standing there talking about our rights. But we had to be careful because we were on school grounds. And you know, the school grounds, let me tell you what happens on school grounds. If a kid does well on school grounds, maybe he goes to colleges like USC where they have a gay, lesbian, transgender position opening for sensitivity training. That we pay for. That we pay for. So if they do well enough there, they might go to USC Law School, where we had this brilliant USC law professor come down to our nullification rally, our nullification hearing down in Columbia, and tell us how we weren't patriots because we were for nullification. So let's get this straight.
Get your children out.
Thomas Jefferson, at 29 years old, drafted the Declaration of Independence.
Yes.
But apparently, Kagan and Sotomayor are smarter. These leftist liberals on the Supreme Court are smarter than Thomas Jefferson. Because it doesn't take long, let's face it doesn't take long for the Congress and the U.S. Senate to come in and say, you know what? These states are a lot of trouble. They're getting in the way. They're organizing these people. They're having these rallies. They got, some of them are even talking about militias. I mean, we got to do something about this. So let's just go ahead and dissolve them. And the Supreme Court says, you know what? That's probably a good idea. And then there's no more states. Because if you don't believe in nullification, you believe that's a possibility.
That's right. That's right.
We formed the federal government.
That's right.
The states formed it. They work for us. And listen,
States' rights.
and they teach us. I went to public school and I was taught about the Civil War, and then I learned it was the war between the states, and then I learned it was the war of nullification, and then finally I learned out it was Lincoln's War. Let me tell you something. There's a difference between authority and power.
That's right.
The devil has all the power, but God's got the authority. So when we think about the federal government and the power they have, they might have power, but they don't have the authority.
That's right.
And I'll say this, just like our forefathers said, Obama wants to be a king.
Yes, he does.
Being a president's not enough, and 2 terms ain't going to be enough.
That's right.
But I'll say what our forefathers said, no king but Jesus. So we got midterm elections coming up. Now states, all we can do, we're the backstop. We're the backstop. We got to get some folks. We got to have some primary elections, and we got to beat some of these folks that, I'm a conservative. I'm a Republican because of the platform, but most Republicans don't believe in the platform. They just want to get elected, and they think they can dupe us about 6 months out from an election into believing they're conservative.
That's right.
Well, listen, our grandchildren, our forefathers fought a battle, taxation without representation.
That's right.
Our grandchildren are not being represented, but they're getting taxed. And their grandchildren are getting taxed. $17 trillion. Listen,
Start paying taxes.
the time for talk is over.
That's right. That's right.
We have got to be organized. We have got to participate in these elections, because I got to tell you, if we don't, we may have to use this Second Amendment to defend the tent.
That's right.
And I want, let me tell you, I want peace. Listen, peace is sweet, but it's not so sweet for the chains of slavery.
That's right. That's right.
Listen, there's a guy, Shane Massey, who I served with in the Senate from Edgefield. And he and I had lunch one day, and we're walking back to the Capitol. And I may run a little over, you may have to yank me, give me the hook. But we were talking, and I said, we're not as smart as those guys that founded this country. I mean, they were just brilliant. They saw all this coming. They saw every bit of it coming. They warned us, and they set up a constitution to protect us for it. They knew what government would be.
They knew their history.
They knew their history. So basically, I said, Shane, what do we do? And he said, man, they left us a constitution.
Right.
They left us Federalist Papers.
That's right.
They wrote all this stuff down. All we got to do is read it and apply it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. So let's hold on to the founders. Let's push back. You're only a generation away from losing your liberty. Don't let this be the generation that does it.
Don't do it.
And I want to get back to this sequestration thing. I mean, this is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard in my life. Don't be so... Obama thinks we're stupid. The man thinks we're stupid. Let me tell you something.
Spit it out, man. Come on. Say it. Let it rip.
Listen,
Go ahead and say it.
I'm going to tell you, they're ripping us off every day.
That's right.
They're ripping our grandchildren off, and they want us to go over and fight wars all over the world.
Yeah.
Our military is to protect us. And listen, it started off a long time ago. We haven't lost this in the last 20 years.
All the way back to Woodrow Wilson.
But they have tried to convince us that the government is the end-all be-all, that it can solve all our problems.
That's right.
Everything the government gives you, everything, the least little thing, they're going to take some liberty from you. So if they're going to take care of your parents with Medicare, guess what? You're going to lose a little liberty. They're going to take care of you. Now listen, Social Security, we need to talk about this. Social Security people have paid into that. they deserve to have their investment. They deserve to be taken care of because they paid for it. But until Republicans stand up and say, man, that was a scam, until we recognize it as a scam it was, because what they did was, they wanted you to pay into something for your entire life and then die. And then, of course, the greatest healthcare system in the world, you lived a lot longer. It was an unsustainable system, but we've got to do something to change it because that is something they use for the change. Higher education, that's the change. I mean, look at the cost. The more money we pump into it, the more it costs. And a kid graduates, he owes 80 grand, and he may learn about homosexuality and transgender and all that kind of stuff. But he's waiting tables just like the guy that didn't go at all. Because we got a guy up in D.C. destroying the economy. So I just say this, keep turning out, keep talking to people. I mean, you've got some good folks in the state legislature, but Russ is exactly right. I mean, these politicians, you can't trust them.
No.
Don't trust them till their next vote.
No.
You know what I'm saying? All of them, including me. I don't know what, I'm some kind of enigma, I think. I don't know what my problem is. The longer I've been elected, the more conservative I become. And I think I'm probably to the right of Jesse Helms, and I'm getting further. But for the most part, that's not how these guys do. You go down there and they want to be loved, and they want, you know, they got crowds like this every day in the lobby in Columbia, telling them how great they are when they take your money and your liberty away from you.
That's right.
And they hear it 3 days a week, 6 months out of the year, and God knows what it's like up in Washington. So just pray for them, but hold them accountable. Watch them close. Listen to some of these talk show guys. They'll steer you right. But God bless you. I mean, this is incredible y'all being here today, and I just thank you for letting me speak.
You know, it was out this week, Winthrop poll. Lindsey Graham has a 72% approval rating. I just heard a guy that's got about 100% approval rating.